Hey guys, so I'm out here gator diving. Got my buddy Jeff helping me out over here, heading down, and we're gonna jump in and dive with some alligators. So pretty cool. Now, before doing this, it's really important to always remind everybody, don't go out in the wild and try to do this stuff. Yeah, I'm out here doing it. I've been handling alligators for over 16 years, and I do this for a profession, but I like to remind everybody this stuff is very dangerous regardless of how long I've worked with gators. Every time I'm out here, it is dangerous for me, and it's especially dangerous for someone who is inexperienced. So I just like to remind everybody, do not enter the water where alligators are present. Don't try to imitate anything you're seeing me do here today. This stuff is extremely dangerous. Even with the experience that I have, it's still really sketchy stuff. So never ever enter the water where alligators are present, and you also don't want to try to mess with them. I'm here to photograph and take video of them. I'm not going to touch them. I'm not going to interact with them, even though I do that in a captive setting all the time. Here I'm in the wild and I'm respecting the animals, and I'm not going to be touching them or interacting with them in any way, and neither should you. So again, be sure to respect wildlife, don't mess with them, and do not enter the water where gators are present. And what a day to be out on the water. Look at how gorgeous it is out here. It is flat, calm, beautiful day to be out on the water. And I just could not be happier that this is my backyard. I love being out here. So I hopped in the water and started exploring. Now you'll see me looking around a lot. I have to be very careful and watch for any alligators that might be trying to creep up behind me. So I take a dive down right here and take a look underneath. And look at that water. So you see that orange yellowish coloration? That is from the tannic acid in the water that comes from the leaves. Okay, so it gives it this kind of orange coloration. And surprisingly, this is actually great visibility for diving in the Everglades. And the first creature I encountered is this little turtle. Look at him taking off, and he just zips away into the murky water before I can actually get a better look at him. But let's see if we can find something a little bit bigger. These shallow vegetated areas are really great nurseries for small fish, and turtles love to be up in here as well. And sometimes you'll see a big gator hanging out in these shallows as well to catch those smaller creatures. So I took a quick look up in here. Didn't really see anything. Very pretty though, but didn't really see anything too interesting. So I know the deeper water is where the gators are going to be at today. Now you'll see all these rocks that I'm swimming over right now. This is all limestone, okay? And this is oolitic limestone, so it's full of these holes and caverns, and it often breaks away. Like this is a big shelf right here that just snapped off from the cap rock right there. And look at that drop off, man. It is so creepy because you cannot see the bottom from the top. The visibility is quote unquote good for Everglades standards, but it's still pretty creepy out here. So I took a dive down at the bottom, and I wanted to take a look at this beautiful, just huge piece of porous limestone. Super cool to see. But while I was down there, I noticed an alligator trail in the mud. So here's my first gator of the day diving. This one looks to be about 7 to 8 feet long, hanging out on the bottom up against that limestone shelf. Take a look at him. Beautiful animal. I've got to come up and get a breath though, and the water here is about 10 to 15 feet deep. Now, this gator has not reacted to my presence whatsoever. It's just sitting on the bottom, hanging out. It probably thinks I don't see it. They really like to rely on their camouflage like this. But take a look at that tail. That powerful tail is what allows these animals to swim so quickly through the water. I went up to take another breath, and when I looked back down, the gator was gone. He moved on. So we're going to move on as well and explore a little bit more and see if we can find some more wildlife. As I swam over and started exploring a different area, I was able to encounter some really cool fish. So I had some peacock bass come over to give me a visit right here. Now, these fish are not native to South Florida, but they are famous in South Florida for sport fishing. People love to go look for these guys. And then here are some Mayan cichlids as well. Those are very common, but I see these peacocks kind of chase them off real quick. I also saw quite a few largemouth bass, but didn't get any video of them. Swimming through this hazy water can be really disorienting and really difficult to spot animals in. I mean, just take a look. Everything kind of blends together and it's really confusing at times. So you really have to keep your head on a swivel and your eyes open for this. Check it out. Here's our second alligator. This one looks to be a decent size. This one looks like it's between 9 and 10 feet long. Now you can see a couple white marks on the back of this alligator. Those are wounds probably from fighting with another alligator. But I gotta get back up and grab a breath of air, and then we're gonna come down and check him out again. Now he's in one of the deeper points that I found in this location. So you can see it takes me a second to even get up to the surface. Take a nice breath. Nice beautiful sunny day out there, and as soon as you look back down, you literally can't see anything. Nice and creepy. But we'll see if we can find that gator again. As I'm drifting down, you can really see just how cloudy and murky the water is, but keep in mind, this is actually really good visibility, but you can't really tell where you are until you can see the bottom. So this spot's about 15 feet deep, so on the way down, you can't see anything at all. And there's our gator again. See his body kind of materializing out of the silt right there. Just hanging out on the bottom still. Looks like he might have moved a little bit. You can see a little bit more silt stirred up of where he was. He may have repositioned himself a little bit there. Let's take a look at him, man. What an impressive alligator. This one is a good size too. Those are my camera flashes. I know it looks like a mini lightning storm underwater, but that's how I get the shots that I take down here. And as you see, the alligator does not care, unfazed by it. He's just sitting there kind of checking me out and taking it in. And as you can see in this shot, the flashes make all the difference. Check that out. Looks like a completely different place. Now, you see me grabbing my nose as I dive down. That's to equalize for the pressure as you're going down. Like if you go down the bottom of a pool and your ears hurt, that's because you need to equalize. So that's what I'm doing as I head down. But back to this awesome alligator. Man, look at this guy. So cool. Now, a lot of people ask, why isn't it attacking you? Well, for one, I'm not making it feel like it needs to. I'm not making the animal feel like I'm a threat in any way, and I'm also not presenting myself as prey in any way. And this has a lot to do with how I swim and where I'm swimming at and how I move. Again, these are things I've learned through years of working with these animals. Never, ever try this on your own. It is very dangerous. I want to get down here and get one last full-bodied look at this impressive gator. Look at that tail, like a dragon. This is a good-sized alligator. And as you can see, I just kind of pan up the side of him, and it's just like Godzilla right there. So cool. And just look at that big head, those big teeth. There's a good-looking gator right there. I then get back on the boat, and we cruise down a little bit farther, find a new area, and then hop back in to check it out. This spot is a little bit more shallow and a little bit more clear, so let's give it a look around. It's not long before I spot another alligator right up ahead. This gator looks to be about 8 feet and is in perfect condition. Beautiful gator. Very, very dark coloration on this one as well. And what's cool here is that it's a little bit more shallow, and you can see that light playing across the back of the gator. Really, really awesome. As I'm coming up, some fish are attracted to my disturbance in the water, and they come over to check me out. And so there's some largemouth bass, and some peacock bass, and some cichlids that come over and take a look at me over here in the shallows. I grab another breath of air and head right back on down and check out this gator for a little bit of a closer look. And check out these peacock bass that just came by. It's a little dark, but you can see them swimming right over the alligator right there. There's 3 of them in a line. And so oftentimes I find that when I'm doing things like this, the fish come over to check it out and see if the alligator spooks up any smaller fish or any little creatures they can eat. And of course, you know, the alligator takes his pick of the fish sometimes. And I was able to get a shot of this gator with some of the fish in the background. Check that out. This is when a group of largemouth bass came by instead of those peacocks. I want to take one last look at this gator and say our goodbyes to him. Beautiful, beautiful gator. The third one of the day, and then it was time to head home. All right, so that was a successful day out. Got to get in the water with some alligators. Got some really good shots of two of them. Another one kind of took off, you know, but we saw a lot more out here too. Lots of awesome birds, lots of kingfishers and hawks and egrets and herons. So overall, a really good day out. Got some good shots, some good footage, and had a great time. So, I mean, any day out on the water in the Everglades is an awesome day for me.